Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Oh, here in this session we are discussing Gita Dhyanam, and after Gita Dhyanam we can go to the study of Bhagavad Gita. So far we had discussed 6 shlokas. Now today we will go to the 7th shloka. This shloka is a prayer. Earlier in many shlokas we prostrated Sri Krishna. We saluted Bhagavan Vedavyasa, and we took an oath to follow Bhagavad Gita in our life. Here in the 7th shloka, we are praying. This is a prayer. What is prayed for? See, Sarojamamalam Gitarthagandhotkadam Nanakhyanakakesaram Harikatha Sambodhanabodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyat Bharata Pangajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase. Parasharyavachas Sarojamamalam Gitarthagandhotkatam Nanakhyanakakesaram Harikatha Sambodhanabodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyat Bharada Pangajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase. Let us break the words first. Parasharyavachaha Sarojam Amalam Gitarthagandhotkatam Nanakhyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhanabodhidam or Harikatha Sambodhanabodhidam. Loke Sajjana Shatpadaihi Aharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyat Bharada Pangajam Kalimala Pradvamsi Naha Shreyase. So what is the prayer here? Prayer is Bharada Pangajam Naha Shreyase Bhuya. Bhuyat. Let it become, or may it become. Bhuyat. Let it become, or may it become. But Bharata Pangajam. Pangajam is lotus. And the Bharata Pangajam is lotus, that is Bharata. So lotus, that is Bharatam. Let it become Kalimala Pradvamsi. Kalimala Pradvamsi means that which will clean or purify all the impurities of Kali. That which is purifying or all the impurities connected with Kali. So that is the prayer. For what? What is the purpose? The purpose is Naha Shreyase. Naha for our. Shreyase. Shreyas is liberation from all bondages. Liberation from all limitations. And Shreyase means for that. So this is the prayer. Let this Mahabharata remove all the impurities of Kali and let it become, or let it be, an instrument to give us the ultimate liberation from all bondages. Let us be free. This is the prayer. We will discuss in detail. So here it is said, Parasharya Vachaha Saroja Mamalam. Sarojam means lotus. Lotus. Amalam, pure. Amalam means pure, without any impurities. So there is a pure lotus, lotus flower. So there is a pure lotus. What is that? Parasharya Vachaha. Parasharya Vachaha means words of Parasharya. Words of Parasharya. And who is Parasharya? Parasharya is the son of Parashara. Son of Parashara. So son of Parashara means Vedavyasa. Krishna Dvaipayana Vedavyasa, who wrote Mahabharata. And of course, who wrote all the 18 Puranas. And who edited the Vedas. So his words, the words of Bhagavan Vedavyasa, the words of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, who is the son of Parashara. His words, which is that? What is that words? It is Mahabharata. Of course, all the Puranas are words of Vyasa, but here it is Mahabharata. Parasharyavacha saroja mamalam. So it is a lotus flower. What kind of lotus flower? Amalam. Pure, without any impurities. And therefore it will purify the readers. Those who are studying, those who are worshipping Mahabharata, they also will get purified. That is the greatness of Mahabharata. Amalam Saroj, a pure lotus flower. So here, the words of Bhagavan Vedavyasa, that is Mahabharata, is said to be a pure lotus flower. Parasharyavacha saroja mamalam Gitartha gandhotkatam. Gitartha gandhotkatam. That is one word. We cannot break in between. But to understand, let us take each and every word within that word. It's a compound word. Artha means meanings. So Gitartha means the meanings of Gita. Gandham means fragrance. Of course, it means smell. But here, as we are talking about one flower, we can take it as to mean fragrance. Utkadam means intense. Utkadam, intense. So the intense fragrance of the Mahabharata is the meaning of Gita. So this lotus that is the lotus of Mahabharata, is having the intense fragrance of Bhagavad Gita. That penetrating fragrance. And how it is presented, Mahabharata? Nanakyanaka Kesaram. Nanakyanaka Kesaram. Kesaram is the spores in the flower, or we can say it is stamens. It is stamens of the flower, or spores. That is Kesaram. And what is the statements here? Nanakyanaka. Akhyana is story or parable. We can take story. So there are many, many, many stories. And each story is a statement. See, Mahabharata that's a big story. And within that, there are thousands and thousands of stories. And the main theme of Mahabharata is not a story. It is Aitihya, but happened. It is history. The main theme of Mahabharata is history. It is not a story. But thousands and thousands of stories are embedded in that theme. So Nanakyanaka Kesaram. Each and every story that comes as a part of Mahabharata is compared to statements of that flower. And what is the common nature of those stories, those statements? Sambodhanabodhidam. Sambodhanabodhidam means that which is presented in the form of question answers. One person will approach another. It can be a single person or a group of scholars. And they will ask some questions, or he will ask some questions. And the other side will reply. So Sambodhana plus Abodhana. So in the form of question answers. Thousands and thousands of stories are presented here. But there is one common feature in all these stories. There are thousands of stories, but there is a common feature. What is that? Harikatha. Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhidam. All these stories are explaining the greatness of Hari. Hari is Ishvara. So the aim of all the stories, or the final message of all the stories, is the greatness of Ishvara. To teach, to show that. That is the aim. So Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhi. So here a lotus flower is presented. And what is that? That lotus flower is Mahabharata. And that is the words of Bhagavan Vedavyasa, the son of Parashara. And that is without any impurities. And with the fragrance of Bhagavad Gita. The fragrance is the meanings of the Bhagavad Gita. And that fragrance is intense too. And there are thousands of stories within Mahabharata. And all these stories are like stamens in the, or spores in the lotus flower. And all these stories are presented as question answers. But there is a common feature, that is, all these are uh, explaining or depicting the greatness of Hari. This is Mahabharata. Loke, in the world. Loke means in the world. Sajjana Shatpadaihi. Sajjana Shatpadaihi. Sajjanam means virtuous man, man of virtue. And they are compared to Shatpadas. Shatpadas are bees. Honey bees. So by them, Sajjana Shatpadaihi, by honey bees who are virtuous men, Aharaha, Ahaha, Ahaha means daily. Aharaha means daily, all the days. Ahaha means day. Aharaha means all the days. Pepiyamanam. Pepiyamanam. It is a difficult word to translate. The meaning is that which is being drunk by them. That is piyamanam, or maybe I may be wrong, piyamanam, peyamanam. But pepiyamanam means there is the wish, intense wish within to drink that. So that which is being drunk by honeybees who are virtuous men, how they are drinking, or how they are, that wish is there within. With intense wish, they are drinking the honey. That means that much eagerness is there within virtuous men to study Mahabharata, to chant Mahabharata, to learn Mahabharata. That intense thirst is there within. And how they are drinking this? Muda. Muda means with happiness. With happiness. Such Mahabharata, or that Mahabharata, bhuyat, let it become, or may it become. But kalimala pradvamsi, that which will remove all impurities of Kali. Let it remove all the impurities of Kali. And bhuyat nahashrayase, and let it become a tool for the liberation from all limitations or all bondages. So this is the meaning. So this is the prayer. See? So here, first, Parasharya Vachaha is compared to a, a lotus which is pure without any impurity. That means there is no impurity in Mahabharata. It's a pure lotus flower. And the whole of Mahabharata is written by Bhagavan Vedavyasa, who is the son of Parashara. So Parashara Vachaha Sarojam Amaram. See, there are 18 parvas in Mahabharata and more than 100,000 shlokas are there. More than 100,000 shlokas are. And Gita is having only 700 slokas. So when we compare the whole text of Mahabharata, Gita is such a small part. 700 divided by 1 lakh. That is the size of Bhagavad Gita in Mahabharata. But it is said the intense fragrance of this flower is Bhagavad Gita. That is the greatness of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the most attractive flower, the full-bloomed lotus flower. But that which is giving fragrance is Bhagavad Gita. This shows the greatness of Bhagavad Gita. That fragrance is attracting bees from all the world. So it is the Utkada Gandha. Utkada is intense. Gandha fragrance. So it shows the greatness of Bhagavad Gita. And there are thousands and thousands of statements. And all these are different stories. How many stories are there within Mahabharata? Thousands and thousands. All are interconnected. Whenever somebody asks some doubt, the teacher there will reply with the help of a story. So tales and parables are innumerable in Mahabharata. Nanakhyanaka Kesaram. But all are Harikatha. This is the greatness, this is the speciality. Even though there are thousands of stories, there is this common feature. All these are Harikatha. Harikatha, story of Hari. All are stories of Hari. So the greatness of Hari is conveyed through all these stories. Who is Hari? Hari is Ishvara. Harati Ajnanam. Harati Sarvani Papani. One who is dispelling ignorance. One who is dispelling ignorance and all sins is Hari. So Ishvara. So all these stories are telling the greatness of Ishvara. And see, when many stories are presented, of course, we will be attracted, but still it will enter directly into our heart when it is in the form of question answers. When ideas are presented in the form of question answers, it will directly enter our heart. Because the questions asked therein will be our own questions. So when we read Mahabharata, we are reading Mahabharata, we will become the questioner, and we will get answers from different acharyas. Most practical questions, questions of this world, most practical. And therefore, this will enter directly into our heart. And this is being drunk by thousands of bees. Since how many years we cannot say. That is continuing. It's an ongoing process. How many artists made many art forms? How many dramas? How many dance forms? How many music, songs, and pictures, craft works? We cannot count. For the last 5,000 and odd years, it is coming. And how many stories were written based on Mahabharata? How many dramas? And in the modern world, how many cinemas? It is an ongoing process. It will continue because it is an everlasting source. It won't be depleted. So these bees, which are compared to bees, are here the virtuous men. The virtuous men are compared to bees. So these bees are daily drinking the nectar, the honey from that lotus. Loke sajjana shatpadaihi aharaha pepiyam. So daily they are drinking the nectar from this lotus flower with hope, with all happiness. Muda. Muda is happiness, the bliss. One who is having that happiness within is Modi. The Shabda Modi comes from this root. Having bliss with. That Mahabharata let it remove or may it remove all the impurities of Kali. For what? Why should Mahabharata remove the impurities? It is for our liberation from all bondages. It is Shreyas. Prayas is the physical well-being. We want that. We must have that. Physical or mundane well-being we must have. But more than that, as we are human beings, the ultimate goal of human life is liberation from all ignorance or all limitations, all bondages, like the absolute freedom. So this is prayed for. See? So this is the prayer, and it is prayed for here through this shloka. So these are the word meanings. If we are going to explain, it will take hours and hours to. But just understand this word meaning and think it again and again. So this shloka, let us chant once more. Parasharyavacha saroja mamalam Gitartha gandhotkatam Nanakyanaka kesaram harikatha sambodhana bodhitam Loke sajjana shatpadairaharaha pepiyamam muda bhuyat bharata pangajam kalimala pratina shreyase. Here I am not praying for my well-being, for my liberation. No. Naha, it is for the whole world. It is not for me, it is for our. Let this remove all the impurities for our liberation from bondages. That is the greatness. So this is the 7th shloka, and we can go to the 8th shloka in our next sitting. So if you want to ask anything now, that is the time. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. The question is from Arun Babuji. Babuji, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste. Namaste.
My question is the Sri Krishna is told as the Purna Avatara. At the same time, we have seen in this logo also in many other occasions, he has been termed in different terms like Deva, Bhagavan, Ishvara, and also he is a friend, he is a Grihastha, husband, king. At the same time, he has been many times named as the Paramatma itself, which we know that it is an akarta which he does not do. But many other places, it is also under the Trigunas, Sri Krishna. So the question is that during the war field, when this advice is given, so what is the exact role we can consider as the Jagat Guru at that moment? So that is the confusion.
Sri Krishna is portrayed in our Shastras, especially Puranas, as a Purna Purushottam. One who is representing all the Purusharthas or the manifestation in the fullest form of what? Of all the Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. That is, when we look at Sri Krishna as an incarnation to establish or re-establish dharma. So when we consider Sri Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna as an incarnation to re-establish dharma in this world, then he is a Purna Purushottama, the embodiment of all the four Purusharthas. And from the standpoint of a devotee, a bhakta, he is the Ishvara, the ultimate Ishvara. He is the ultimate Ishvara from the standpoint of a devotee. Or he is the embodiment of divinity. When he is observed from another angle, he is a warrior, one who is fighting to re-establish dharma. From another angle, Sri Krishna is a lover. From another angle, he is a husband. He is a father of many children, more than 80. From another angle, he is an eternal teacher. Friend, enemy, child, greatest musician. So, from which angle we are viewing? That is the question. And from his own knowledge, or from his own realization, he is Paramatma. One who is well established in Sattva Chitta and Ananda. For Arjuna, he was a friend. He was a charioteer. He was a driver. He was a friend. He was a best companion. And he was Acharya, greatest teacher. So Sri Krishna was all in one. Why? Because he is Akshara, imperishable. He is limitless. When there are many dark clouds in the sky, and when sun is not at all shining, we will say today's sky is dark. When sun is by bright white clouds, we will say the sky is bright. It is shining bright, but we cannot see sun. Some days we will say, oh, it is a sunny day, so the sky is shining with sun. Smoky sky, pure sky, impure sky. And within the uh, clouds, we will imagine and we will create, we will make many stories. Great men of history. And heroes of our inner world. We will superimpose on these clouds and we will see them all in the sky. But sky is without all this. We cannot qualify that. There is no blue sky, there is no bright sky, there is no dark sky. In the Paramatma is without any quality or any special features. It is the existence absolute. It is the knowledge absolute. It is the bliss absolute. So that is the real form of Sri Krishna. That is Sri Krishna. And from his own realization, that is his nature. That is his true nature. Only some great sages realized that. For example, Narada in the Bhagavata realized that greatness. Only a few. See, even after Krishna, Krishna as a universal being, Duryodhana didn't understand that, didn't realize that. Yashoda, even after seeing the whole universe within the mouth of Sri Krishna, even after seeing that, he didn't realize who he is. So that is the problem. So many, from many levels, people observed and they took that is the real nature of Sri Krishna. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna was above all, and therefore there is no any type of contradictions in that. There are contradictions when we are taking Sri Krishna in one capacity. See, for example, there are rules and regulations to be followed in a battle. In a righteous battle, there are given rules. And when we observe the teachings or activities of Sri Krishna in the battle of Kurukshetra war, there are many situations where we will sit spellbound. Why Sri Krishna did so? This is against the common rule and regulation of the battle. Why he asked Dharmaputra Yudhishthira to tell a lie? Why he asked Bhima to kill Duryodhana? There are many questions. So from normal level, we will not get answers. Because Krishna is above such rules and regulations. See, when the forces of adharma are coming together under the umbrella of power and money, all are united together and they are working together to destruct the system of righteousness in the world. Then up to what extent you can go to re-establish dharma? Up to what extent? If you are observing the rules and regulations written in the Dharma Shastras, then the other party also should bind that. They also should abide that, observe that. If there are two parties, and one party is observing all rules and regulations, and other is violating everything, or even if they are outwardly observing, but that power of money, power of governance, all are there, then what is the meaning in observing these written rules and code of conduct? So this is the thing. So Sri Krishna taught, you need not observe this. Because the other part is not like that. So when we observe Krishna from a given rules and regulations or written values, then we will not be able to digest the individuality or the personality of Sri Krishna. Then we will see many contradictions. Many contradictions. But see, Gandhari, the mother of all Dhartarashtras, she was sure in one thing. Yataha Krishnaha tataha dharma. Yataha dharmaha tataha jaya. Where Krishna is, from that spot dharma also originated. And from where dharma originated, from there victory will follow. She was sure about it. So he was above the books of dharma. He was dharma personified. He was artha personified. He was kama personified. He was moksha personified. So take Krishna as Paramatma in the highest level and Purna Purushottama in the worldly level. Then we will have no contradiction. Otherwise, there will be thousands of conflicts and contradictions. So it is not easy to assimilate that great figure which is Sri Krishna. He is above the purview of our imagination. Yeah, that is the answer. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Do we need to take the next question? We have only 3 minutes. Okay. So Kamalaji, then you can go ahead and ask the question.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, namaste, namaste.
Swamiji, can you just say a few words about Sri P.K. Vaidya so that today,
we must pay our respect, our homage to that great soul who departed today, Sri Dr. P.K. Vaidya. He was the managing trustee of Kottakalari Vaidashala. Also, he was the chief physician there. But above all this, he was a great man, a great human being, with a spacious heart that gave solace to thousands. So he completed his 100th year in this birth last month. He was a scholar of Ayurveda, having no comparisons, and the promoter of Sanatana Dharma and art forms, especially Kathakali. He stood 100% to the letter and spirit of Sri P.S. Vaidya, who established Kottakalari Vaidashala, And see, he was respected, honored by our nation with Padma Shri and then with Padma Bhushan. He was such a great man. And his greatness was his simplicity, his humility, how he behaved with everyone. It's a matter of wonder if you observe. He was a promoter of Gita teachings of Bhagavad Gita. I personally knew that because when Gita Swadhyaya Samiti was there in Kerala, we organized one Gita Sangamam in Kottakkal. Then all the cooperation was there from Sri Warrior. And he personally came there and inaugurated the function. He spent much time there. And I had occasion to be with him many times in many functions. And some years back, I visited his house and we talked for a long time. And what is to be noted in his personality is the punctuality he keeps. If he says we will meet at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock he will be ready. 12:59 he will be there. And the appointed time, on the next minute he will stand up. So within that we have to conclude that topic. He was such a busy man. Thousands and thousands of patients with many ailments. Judged as having diseases which are not curable, were cured with his care. So that great was a legend. His life was legendary. So such a great legend departed today. There is no sorrow because a long life, full life. The Veda itself it is said, Shatayurvai Purushaha. The lifespan of human being is 100 years. So he completed that. And completing 100 years is not a great thing. How he spent that for the society, for the medical science, for the greatest medical science, that is Ayurveda. And his broadness, to some patients he would say, if you are interested, you can go for allopathic treatment. For this case, you can go for homeopathic treatment if you want. But these are the treatments Ayurveda is prescribed. If you are accepting, you must follow as I am telling. So that greatness. Nowadays we are becoming more and more rigid and moving into watertight compartments. I am an allopathy specialist, so allopathy is the only science. All others are humbugs. Ayurveda is superstition. Homeopathy is meaningless. The only system is allopathy system. If you are speaking anything connected with Ayurveda or homeopathy, when you talk about COVID-19, it is an offense. So you must be in the jail. So that is the narrow attitude we are seeing in the present day world. But he was such a great man. He accepted all systems of science, but he worshipped Ayurveda above all. And the scope of Ayurveda, that is limitless, and he offered his life for that. So such a great scholar, great Vaidya, a great promoter of art, a great human being. After completing a meaningful life, he departed today. So all our respects be with him. All our prayers be with him. And we need not pray, but still, as we are in the world, we can pray. Agnenaya Supadha. Namaste. Today, we can conclude this. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhaved. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.